Okay. So far, whatever pages we have created, we have used standard controller for them, right? And in a standard controller, basically what we need to do, we need to create the page which is for one single record, and then we need to supply the ID of that record in the URL. That's what we have been doing, right? Okay. So in the standard controller, we create a page for one single record and we supply the ID of the record in the URL, and that's how the data comes on the page. Standard list controller is similar to this. The second type of controller, the standard list controller, is similar to a standard controller. The only difference is that a standard list controller is not used for one record, it's used for displaying the list. Okay. So standard controller is meant for single record page. This is meant for list page. Okay. So here you can display the list of records, and because we are displaying the list of records, now you don't have to kind of supply the ID in the URL. So that's what. Okay. ID not required because I'm talking about a list here. So it's not a single record that I'll have to supply the ID. So here ID not required in URL. Okay, I can just create a page and that page can directly display the list of records. Okay, otherwise logic wise it's pretty similar to standard controller. So in a standard controller also we did not have to define any code, any logic from our side. We were just leveraging the standard set of logic from salesforce.com. Here we are going to do the same thing, right? Okay, so let's see how it works. Let's create a page with the standard list controller. So can you just give me 1 minute, one quick minute? Yep. Okay. So let's create a page and see how it works. So I'm creating a new page. Okay. For a standard list controller, first thing that you'll need to do is define the standard controller itself. So even if when I'm going to display the list of records, I need to mention from which object. So that's going to be my standard controller. So you can say count. Okay. So your standard controller here becomes a count. And along with that, there is one more attribute that you'll have to define, which is record set where. Okay. Record set where is a variable for the set of records. Okay, variable defined for set of records, and it can be anything. You can name that variable anything, whatever you want. All right. So let's say I name it ACTS. Okay. Now this is the variable for the set of records from this object, from the standard controller object. Displaying list of counts. Let me put whatever title I want. Okay. Now because I'm talking about a list of records, what I need next is I need a table. So there's a component for bringing in table. I cannot show multiple records without a table, right? I need a table kind of a structure. So there's a component for this which is called Apex page block table. For Apex page block table, you can put the value. Okay. Value will be the variable that you have defined here, record set var. Okay, so that's going to be your value here, and you have to define one more variable for the table, which can be anything again a. Okay, so there are two required attributes on the table, which one is value, one is the variable. Value means what data you want to display in the table. So I want to display this list of records, so value will be whatever variable you have defined on line 1. Here you have to define one more variable. This variable is, is a variable for this one, for the value. Okay, so this is something which stands for this. Correct. And then you just go ahead and say apex column value a dot name. There's now only thing that we'll have to do inside the table, we will need to create the columns. So there's a column component which we can use, and a column component requires this value attribute where you define what value you want to display in that column. So I have 5 columns now. First one I will display name, second I want type, third I want industry, fourth is phone, the next one is fax. Here it is. Name, type, industry, phone, fax. So these are the columns that we define inside it. All right. Do you see how it's working? So this time you don't need to provide the ID of the record. You have created the table and it will automatically display the list of the accounts there. Clear? Okay. Now we are going to do a small activity, hands-on activity, where I want you to create a page to display list of opportunities. Okay, create a page to display list of opportunities, and the fields or the columns I need are opportunity name, amount, stage, close date, and expected revenue. Okay, so let me type all these in the chat window. I will display the code, the one for the one that I have created, and I want all of you to just create this and show it to me.
Hello.
Hello, here's the code.
Yeah, Jeet, I don't know. I think there is some problem with my net. The audio got disconnected and the screen was frozen, and just now I got connected, so I missed this one.
Yeah, so can you just try to, follow the code and do this example, the one that I'm telling you now?
Okay, okay, sure.
Okay, so where I'll, in the next example, I'm going to create the same opportunity page, the one that you have created. I'm just going to create the same thing. So, in fact, Alok has done that for me. So that's good. And Alok, while you are creating your pages, it will be good if you take some other sequence, because this V sequence, V1, V2, that sequence, I'll be creating the example
Uh-huh.
pages. All right, you take some other sequence so
So
that you know
I can take
which
like
are the ones which were
I
discussed
can
in the
take
class.
and you can select Z1, Z2 like that too.
You
or
can
I
take
sh
whatever. You take Z1, Z2
okay,
or something like that. I'll continue
okay,
on the sequence. Fine.
okay.
For your
All
case.
right, got it. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is a page that we just created for the opportunity. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's say this is the page. There are a few things which I'm going to show you here. Um, record set where. So Praveen, what basically you did was you typed everything. But if you are writing it correctly, if you put a space here, then you don't have to type the entire thing. You put VA automatically, you will get value. You can press enter here and then
Okay.
put the value here,
Okay.
right? So that's another
Okay.
way of making
Okay.
sure that whatever I'm writing is correct. Now see, the moment I put V, it again shows me value and variable. This time I did very
Next time
well.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take the default value.
yeah. That ways we can avoid errors. Apex column, see, and once I get into the component or the attribute that I need, I just go and press enter, and then value for this is going to be o dot name. Now we can copy and paste it. Name, amount, stage name, and you people have seen the field names can be different. Close date, expected revenue, account dot name. Okay, in case you want to display a field from the parent object, then you can display it like this: o dot account dot name. So here I'm not talking about opportunity name, I'm talking about the name of the account, the parent account for the opportunity. See, so this is what we usually get to see. Now there are a few things that I want you to understand here. One, standard list controller. A standard list controller displays 20 records on a page. Okay, so it's going to display you 20 records on a page. What if I have more than 20 records? If you have more than 20 records in your list, you'll have to define navigation for more than 20 records. Navigation, basically going to the next page and the previous page, that sort of option. So for doing that, I just need the command button. So there is another component called a command button, which can be used for doing these navigations, right? So after this page block table, you can say apex command button, and in the command button you can say value. Value is whatever you want to display on the button. So next page, and action can be next. Okay, so this is a default action, next. Okay, so action has to be next for going to the next page. Value can be anything, whatever you want. You want to say next page. So value is what you want to display on the button. I will create one more button, fix command button, value previous page, and action can be previous. Okay. This command button component, it always needs to appear between the form tags. So all that you have to do is you have to put a form component at the start after the page starts and put it end it before the page ends. Fine. So it starts in line 2 and it starts in this ends in the second last line. That's it. Now after this list you will see a next page and a previous page button. You click on next page, it will show you next set of records. Go to previous page, it will show you the first 20 records. So whatever number of records you are viewing here is 20 records only. All right. So the moment you click on next page, it goes and shows you the next set of 20 records. And then you can go to the previous page. Got it? So this is how we can bring in the navigation, or we also call it pagination. Yeah. Got it? Tell me if you have a question or confusion here. How the next and previous pages are working. It's clear? Same way. So next and previous are two default actions. Same way you have two more actions which are called first and last. So we have four action or pagination commands here. First, last. First will take you to the first page. Last will take you to the last page of the list. Next will take you to the next page, and previous will take you to the previous page. The four actions are there. Correct? So while we are dealing with standard list controller, we might require it in case we have a list which is longer than 20 records, because standard list controller can only display 20 records on a page. Got it? Clear? Now, how will my end users access this standard list controller page? I've created a list page. How will end users access it? What we can do is we can actually create a tab for this page. V11, I can create a tab for this page. The way I have tab for other things, I can create a tab for this page also. How do you do that? It's pretty simple. See, my end users will need to access it through some button or tab or something, right? How will they access the page that we have created? So for them to access this page, all that you have to do is you just have to go to setup, create tabs, and so far we have been creating custom object tabs. This time we don't need to create a custom object tab, we need to create a Visualforce tab. Okay, go to Visualforce tab, click on new, and your tab gets created. Tab style can be whatever you want. Okay, which page you want for the tab? I want V11 for the tab. Give it a label and a name. I call it up list. Go to next. Next. So same way you create a custom object tab, you can create a Visualforce page tab also. See, op list. Now your end users will get to see this tab, and from here they can access that page. Got it? Because my end user will not know what is the name of the page and all that stuff. He will just need to access it from somewhere. Here. So there are a few more ways of accessing the Visualforce pages. We are gonna talk about them later, but this is one of the ways. You can always create a Visualforce tab to access the Visualforce page that you have created, like, and make it available to the people who need it. So, or to the profiles which need it, right? Tell me if you have a question or doubt here. Okay. And next thing that I want here is for the list. In case I want my list to be editable. Editable means if I just want to be able to edit the records on the list. Right now, this is the page. Here is the list. I cannot edit any of the records. I can just view the records. In case you want to be able to edit the records, you just have to do one small thing. You have to bring one more component here inside the page block table, which is called Apex inline edit support. Okay, you just have to put this component inside the table. This will enable the inline edit support for your table. Inline edit support means you can double click on the record and edit it. See, now it's just not displaying the list, it makes the list editable. So if I feel that 120,000 is not the correct value, I can double click on this and I can make it 125,000. Okay. If I find that 85,000 is not correct, I can go and make it 90,000. Correct. And the moment you are using an inline edit support, the next thing that you have to do is, now whatever changes are being made, these are being made on the UI only on the front end, not in the database. So all that you have to do is from here, in case you want to actually go ahead and save these changes, you have to have one more action button. Like next and previous, there is one more action, save action. Okay, so you can just say Apex command button, create another command button. Value can be anything, say save all. Action is save. So this save action basically saves the records, saves the data, whatever has been updated. So see, I changed it from 120 to 125,000, but it did not get changed. The reason I did not save it. Now I can go and make the changes here, make the changes on this one. Okay, the ones which have been edited are being shown in red. I can click on save all. Yeah, so all my opportunities have got saved. You can go to the op list, see it now. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Um, the save functionality is not working that fine. All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look into this tomorrow. But it should get saved, right? So basically, the save operation is for saving the data. So that should not be a problem saving it, right? Let me go here once. Just a minute. V11. This. um, T. No, it's not working. So what we'll do is we'll just have a look into it tomorrow. Okay. Otherwise, inline edit support and all this stuff is clear. How we are using the pagination buttons and everything.